All right. All right, once again. So, I know there weren't very many people in that yesterday, but this is going to be a little bit of a repeat. And so I already read through these yesterday. I want to have them logged though, and I deleted that video. I'm going to do it again. And as I go through this again, I'm going to go through it a little quicker because I already read these and some of these are bullshit. But nevertheless, is what it is. First one, I believe, if I remember right, was the lady working at the restaurant, whatever the fucking restaurant was, noodle bar or some shit. If I remember right. English not a first language, so it's tough to get through. So try. I already did it once. All right. So let's see. Let's see about the day. I was not here in the day, but I was here in the nighttime. I believe 6 o'clock. And this is Sunday. This is the day of the shooting. Let's see. So Friday, come in 12 o'clock. I served one table. It was 202. Interesting. I'll find out where table 202 is next time I go out there. And I served it to this guy. At that moment, I don't know who he was, but when I see the picture on TV, somebody showed me the picture and say I know this person. But that's when I recall I saw it on Friday. We opened 11, and it was about 12:05. So I saw this person. It was late. It was a couple. It was a white guy. You fucking racist. With a little beard, mixed with white hair. And it was a short lady, tied hair, beautiful makeup at the time. She was wearing a black t-shirt, like a jean t-shirt. And white skirt, like tennis skirt. And I served to them. I serving hot tea and water. And I stand at over there with the hostess commenting something about Filipina. And that's all I remember. Yes, let's see. So you think that the lady that you saw with him, what race or nationality, you fucking racist? Let's see. Fucking, whatever they call it. Let's see. So let's see. It was like I just joking around sometime with hostess. I tell her, I bet that lady's Filipina, because my husband is Filipino. So I say, I bet that lady's Filipina. I say the hostess told me, sure, it looked like. Okay, did they eat? They ate. Okay, so after they're done eating, how do you pay the bill? I'm not a server. I'm a busser. I just serve drinks. Okay, and I don't have an idea because the server is the one to deal with the bill. Only thing I see before they go, because when I come into work, they was already there. I don't see they coming. So when they decide to left, I don't put attention how they pay the bill, honestly. And but when I see they left, the guy walk into the casino and the lady ask him for a restroom. So she go for the restroom in the back of the other restaurant. So that's all I see. Okay, did you have any conversation with them? Well, there was. The guy was nice. He say thank you, but that's all. That's all it takes for someone to be a nice guy in your book. All right. Okay, didn't talking too much. Do you remember outside of his beard? Do you remember what he was wearing? I don't focus too much on him. I was looking that lady. Woman, we criticize each other, but so I was looking more to her because she get my attention because she looked from far away. She looked young. But when you go close, that why I recognize her in picture because she got the white hair. This chick was checking out the lady. Very interesting. Let's see. So that's the thing I focus because when I pass close, I say, "Oh, she look young, but she not that young," you know. So that's what that's what my think about. That's it. So that's when I recognize, say, "Oh, I see these. I see these people." Let's see. So you recognize the lady in the shop as the lady saw the picture. Is that what you're saying? At the TV. Okay, so the lady that was in the noodle shop is you think is the same lady you saw. I think it is because the thing more focused is the hair. Because when I was watching the couple from a couple feet away, the lady looks like a young lady, but when you go close, is when you see the hair over here. You know, that's all. Okay, anything else to think of? That's all. Could you, how old do you think the lady was? Um, Not from seeing the picture, but from what you remember the lady in the shop, like around 50 something, 55 maybe. And do you remember what her hair was like? It was tied. She was making, let's see, she was making something like tie over here and not long, not long hair, but it was like tied, and you can see this over here. Okay, was she heavy? Was she thin? She got very tight legs because she got very like little skirt, and that like it looks nice, man. It's getting pornographic. Let's see. I don't like a woman, but you know you can see when the woman's been taken care of, you know, or take care, you know, would work out or something like that. She's fit. Okay. And just so I'm clear, after you saw the photo of her on the news, when you thought, hey, is this the same person? Is that correct? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm guessing. Finishing that statement for him. No, when I see the picture on the news, that's when I say, oh, I know these people I saw before. That's let's see, even when the first, because my daughter called me when the thing it was happening, so my daughter called me. I don't know because I was in the house and my husband just got out because he worked in here too. So he just got out of from here, and we watching TV. We do not watching the news. Let's see how sure you say um, that it was the same man. How sure? Yeah, 100% being no doubt. Being no doubt, 50% being yeah. I'm not completely sure, 75%. All right, so not sure. And I doubt it. Okay, I don't know. Cannot say how much when I see the picture, I just say I saw this guy. And the woman too, the thing I want to tell you is my daughter called me. I saw the name of the lady, and it was kind of weird because I telling my husband, I'm sure that lady's Filipina. The name is Filipino, and I not even see the picture. Um, yeah, after I don't know how many minutes or maybe half an hour showing the picture, and I say, "Oh, that's the lady I see." Okay, so that's all. Let's see. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, whatever. That's the end of that. Again, 10, 11, 17. So these were done fairly shortly after. They were, what do they call that? Reviewed fairly shortly after. That seems to be the trend with the people who work from LA Bank. Statements from. All right, Trevor. Also, we've seen also a few times within this. Let's see. His birthday. Yeah, okay. He's executive casino host for Caesar's Palace. He works swing shift, and his RDOs. I don't know, days off. Some are Sunday, Monday. Sorry, I forgot to ask for your phone number. Let's see. Let's see, detective. Excuse me. It doesn't matter. This is redacted speak, and his he has a different work address than his corporate office address. You just named. Does that matter? Can we just use a corporate address? Certainly. I don't think that'd be an issue. Okay, we'll just, it's fine with me if it's fine with you. Okay, also present for this interview. Sorry, it's Detective Mark Cullen, and also 2 special agents from the DEA. Interesting that the DEA is in here for the casino host of another property that this didn't happen at. Okay, first is Matt. His name is spelled Rumschlag, whatever. William Mentor, also president, is, redacted. She's senior vice president for VIP marketing. And we could probably LinkedIn that motherfucker, so we could probably figure out who that is. Also redacted, who's also, or I'm sorry, vice president for casino marketing. And also redacted, senior vice president and chief counsel of operations. All right, redacted. You understand it's being recorded? Yes, it does. Okay, date October 7th, 2017. Time is about 3 in the afternoon. Take a few minutes away, but it's our become our understanding through this investigation. We're obviously here for the events that happened last Sunday. Let's see that you had contact with Stephen Baddick, I'm guessing. Is that correct? Because that is redacted. And was that your capacity here at work? Yes. Let's see. Okay, so was that working in your capacity here at work? Yes. Okay. So can you tell me how the contact was started, and then from there we'll kind of okay. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I'm not even sure the day. When I got into work, I kind of looked him up, see how far back it goes. But I think it only went back like 2013, like from my records of him. Pretty sure it was longer than that ago I met him. And honestly, it's so long ago that I don't remember. We get players one of 2 ways. You can either, bring them in, you can meet them on the floor, or actually you can get sponsored. 3 different ways that you can acquire them. I honestly don't remember which way it was that I acquired my knowledge of him or my introduction of him initially. And I'm very unclear of exactly what year it was, even to be honest. But I did have several interactions with him over the years. No actual phone contact per face to face within like maybe the last year and a half, I would say. I did have recent text messages with him, though, just mainly in the course of business. Him wanting to book rooms at Caesars. I did save those. Let's see. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the exact date or how I actually met him. Did meet him. It's just through course of business. It was one of those 3 ways. Let's see. So compared to, I don't really know how to ask this question, but compared to somebody else assigned to, was he a regular patron here or was he sporadic? How you doing? How you doing? This is regurgitation yesterday, man. This is the same thing I read yesterday. I just want to get through it again because I deleted the video yesterday. Let's see. So he was a regular for a couple of years, but in the last year and a half, that's why I'm reading it fast. We basically cut off his offers to bring him in. We also took out his favorite machines. He was a pretty skilled gambler. Let's see. We had machines that had very advantageous payback pay scales. Anyone that's very skilled will know that to look for those particular machines to play. And once we took those out, he stopped coming in. He would occasionally call me to book a room for him or something like that, but he wouldn't really gamble at all. So, like his last date of play where he actually had any notable gambling was like a year and a half ago. It was like March, and here they have written 2006, but I'm guessing 2016. So yeah, it's been about at least a year and a half where he actually gambled at a hosted level. So when I say hosted level, I mean worthwhile for me to call him and try to acquire his business. So it had not been any recent contact for me trying to market him. But he did text me just to book a room in late August. So, yeah, and I did, and he didn't play worth anything. And do you remember the dates you wanted to book back in August? Yeah, I got it right here. I believe it's 27th, 28th. And give me a second, pull it up right now. Yeah, August 27th and 28th. Okay. He did stay at Caesar's. This is at Caesar's Palace. This is just purely recollection. But how many times had he stayed on the property the last couple of years that our properties are just Caesar's? Just that you had interaction with him. Okay, gotcha. Probably about, see, it's okay. I think it was December of 2016 and March 2016 and August of, let's see, March 2017 and August 2017. Got those wrong. So those are probably like the last three, I think it was. Didn't really play worth anything on any of those trips. So, no. All right. Explain to me if there's somebody you're assigned as a host. What's your job while the person's here? While they're here, we greet them, make sure they're comfortable here, make sure they get everything that you promised them coming on in. So usually your contact begins with you reaching out to them, or sometimes they reach out to you. Either way, and then it's kind of where the negotiation begins of what you wanna, what you're gonna willing to do for them to bring them in. A lot of times we send out offers or something like that, but when you're booking a room, it's like they want a specific type of suite. If they want, they want to be guaranteed a certain amount of free play or show tickets, something like that. You bring them on in when you can, if you're here while they're actually while they are. You usually greet their limo because when they're coming in to pick them up at the airport. I greet the limo, make sure you walk them to the VIP, make sure they get checked in, and then they basically kind of let them do their own thing. Let's see. You'll stop by, once or twice, maybe three times during their trip to make sure that everything's going fine. Give them some FaceTime, sometimes do dinners with them, sometimes do shows with them. Never did any of that with Steve, I'm guessing. Uh, but he was just kind of, I'd probably sit and talk with him for about 20, 30 minutes every trip at just at the machine while he was gambling. Most conversations involved just gambling, really. He liked to talk about gambling and traveling. I can't recall really much specifics because we're talking at least a year and a half ago, my last face to face contact with him. But yeah, I mean, it's, what? I realize why I'm having so many. Oh, no, it's not. No, that's right. Yeah, we're good. Actually, here. All right. That's why it's harder to read. I was wondering why this thing's fucking problem. Let's see. Last face to face to contact with him. Basically, check up on the trip. I mean, they do their stuff. You don't hold their hand. I mean, you don't babysit them. Let's see. Some are more needy than others. If they're needy, I mean, you'll hear from them a lot, and just they'll keep asking you for stuff for trips. Something comes up, and you're just like, and hey, last minute, I want this, I want that, I want, whether it's restaurant reservations, spa, golf, show tickets. I mean, you name it, you take care of it mid trip with them. But with guys that just like to gamble, I mean, they sit at the machines, they do their own thing. So it's not, you try to build a rapport with them, uh, you try to get them, know them on a personal level. Um, wasn't the most open guy that way, but I mean, he had no problem with me sitting there talking to him for like 20, 30 minutes every time he'd come in. Let's see, any special requests from rooms or locations or anything? I'm trying to remember. Not really. No, I think I know I did put him in our presidential suite one time, and that's like on the top floor of the Rio, and that was a while back. I mean, we're talking 3, 4 years ago, but I think he might have asked for that one. After we put him in it once, I think he might have asked for 1 or 2 more times. But I mean, it's a six suite. It's got a pool, got its own private pool. It's on the 51st floor, so I mean, it's nice. This is jargon. And he says, "Can you give me a room there? What's that? Can you give me a room there? Yeah, talk to those two. Okay. Any other special requests he would have as far as dinner or anything else? I mean, occasionally he asks for show tickets, but other than that, no, not really. Let's see. Okay, okay. And did know because she would come out with her most of the she would come out with him most of the time. He'd been playing one machine. She'd be playing right next to him. Okay, so she was basically introduced to you as, I'm guessing, Mary Lou. Yes, okay. And out of the times that he stayed here, he said most times, was there ever a time that you remember that she was not with him? I don't need dates. Yeah, yeah. But was there a time when she wasn't with him? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. He would travel with or without her. Yeah. And on occasion, was there anybody else that you ever saw? No, he did come by himself. Okay. This is going to sound like kind of a weird question, but did you see him talking to anybody besides her, whether he was with her or not? And you, of course, but just regular people. Okay, not to my recollection. No, no other females. No, like that. So we're asking about prostitutes here, or we're building up to it. Okay, all right. By any chance, on any of his stays, did you actually go to his room, go inside the room? No. Okay, any conversations? Did any of them strike you as odd? Anything weird at all? I mean, he was an odd guy, but like, okay, does. It's hard to say specifics. I do remember just one particular incident. I think I had him in the presidential suite, and I don't even remember what the exact situation was. Because I mean, we're talking, this has got to be 3 or 4 years ago, and he called me up just yelling about like something, just so minor that I don't even remember what it was. But it was like, I think maybe, I want to say it was like it took like 20 minutes for his baggage to come up to his room, and he was like screaming at me, and I'm like, that's really kind of rare. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, you know what? I said, Steve, don't worry. Like, I'll call baggage. I'll call the bell desk. They'll bring your luggage up right away. No reason to get upset. And then he was like, okay, thank you. And that was it. Now, I just thought about this, man. That's weird, man. He's freaking out about his baggage. I wonder what was in those bags. What he was doing at that time. Let's see. I think he had a bit of temper on him because I was like, kind of struck me weird. I still remember to this day. I was like, wow, okay, that's weird. Because most of our players, if they get agitated, some of them will yell. But like just out of the blue like that, I didn't expect it from him. But yeah, he was kind of an odd guy. But that's about the only weird kind of specific thing I could remember about it. And then, like I said, this is years ago. We're talking, 3 or 4 years ago at least. Let's see. And when you said he was odd, can you kind of expand on how you found him odd? I'm just trying to think. Like, I mean, I don't know. He was just weird. Like, I'm sorry. I really don't talk about him. Okay. Was he, when you would have a 20-minute conversation with him? Yeah. While he was still playing, would he open up about his personal life? No, not really. Was he very secluded? Not very. I mean, I think he said very. Wait, was he secluded? Not. Okay. Um, I mean, I think if I remember right, the only thing we really talk about was like gambling because we both played video poker and it's just kind of a mutual thing. And then, traveling too. I know he did a decent amount of traveling, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. This is like a really long time ago, so yeah. Let's see. I understand. Yeah. Okay. Try and get as much information as possible. Can sure. When he would come, would he drive his own vehicle? Do you remember? I don't remember because I think at that around that time he had just moved to Mesquite. I want to say, so like I think sometimes he would come in when he'd fly to. Okay, so we get a timeline on that. So when they kind of started, these two started is when he first moved to Mesquite. I don't remember the date on that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was in the bags on this trip, man. I mean, he didn't buy a lot of those guns until the last 2 years, so I don't think it was the guns, but yeah, something was going on with this guy. This guy was doing some fucking shady there in Vegas, man. He had something going on. He had some sort of something. Let's see. Let's see. Da da da. Whiskey. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm wondering if this guy. I mean, speculation, but I wonder if this guy he liked his house or his place in Reno. He was fine with his place in Reno. Didn't give a fuck about Mesquite, but bought the Mesquite as a basically a drop house or something. Well, this makes me wonder. Yeah, I know. By the way, panicked. Yeah, I mean, you don't got to change clothes right now. What the fuck? I guess maybe his laptop was in there or something. Maybe that was freaking him out. But why don't you just bring your laptop with you? Okay. Besides, let's see. Any other mentions or comments about any other family? Okay, so I'm guessing he says Mary Lou there. The children, anything like that? Oh, okay. And just out of curiosity, what were the machines he liked to play? See, like again, ask him about children, man. What the fuck? Why would you ask him about children? Like, Steve doesn't have children, so why would you ask the guy? Like, did he ever talk about children? I mean, were they like running? So the DEA is here, Drug Enforcement Agency. Why is the DEA here for this? And why is he asking about fucking children, right? I mean, there were all those rumors. I know there's like the conspiracy that he was smuggling kids, that he was smuggling drugs. There was all kinds of conspiracies and shit. But this kind of makes me wonder, right? Because the DEA is here for this little questioning session right here. And he specifically asked about children, right? Now, I'm not normally a conspiracy guy, but this is kind of a weird thing to ask. Although Paddock did look up a lot of children's museums and weird shit like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Did he have kids? Is that what's going on here? Did he have illegitimate kids Mary Lou didn't know about? Nobody knew about? Um, did he have some shit like that going on that they found out about? And they're just trying to figure out if maybe Paddock didn't even know he had kids. Maybe he had no fucking clue. Maybe that's why he looked up child court service center. I don't know. Going off speculation here. Maybe he was trying to figure out, like, this bitch has a kid. She's saying it's mine. Got to figure this shit out. Is this fucking my kid? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, just out of curiosity, what were the machines you like to play? Because you said once you guys got rid of those machines, you kind of stopped coming. Yeah, it was 10 play dollar. I believe it was double bonus poker. We still have like machines like that, but not with those pay scales. Comic ping pong. Yeah, I mean that was one of the theories in the early days. I think it was some ranch. I forget what the ranch was that supposedly I don't even know, man. He had like fucking people said he owned some fucking ranch over there, some weird fucking thing. Um, I don't know. Did some things with kids. I fucking charities for kids or some weird shit like that. I don't know. I never paid attention to that. Let's see. All right. Did he tables at all? Mainly just machines. No, it was I'm guessing he said video poker there, but he just said poker. Okay, get ask you a lot of questions you may or may not have the answer to. Okay, so if you don't, you just don't. Most of his meals, would he order room service or would he go down to restaurants? I don't remember. Okay. When, why don't, well, I guess, yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago, but this guy probably deals with a lot of people, but you kind of remember shit like that because this guy's got to write all that off. Okay. When he was here, did it ever appear to you that there was an excessive amount of baggage? No, no. I get surprised. But I didn't always meet him when he came in, so I can't recall a time when he had a lot of baggage. So no. Okay, and then as far as his personal appearance goes, or anything that struck out, elaborate clothing, same clothing. No, same clothing, same clothing. The brown shirt that everyone said he was wearing every fucking day, which yeah, wasn't true. Let's see. Yeah, it's like Paradise Ranch or something. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's Paradise Ranch. Let's see. Dress down. I'd always wear like a polo and jeans, which we saw him in slacks. So I think that's what he means. But yeah, I don't think it was jeans. Okay, that was it. Yeah. Did he ever ask about Life is Beautiful tickets? What? What? Oh, I mean, he hadn't seen him in a year and a half, but I guess maybe, yeah, maybe Life's Beautiful goes on every year. Any other, I don't know, one way or the other, but let's see. You said show tickets, but concert tickets, anything like that. Yeah, exactly, like Penn and Teller, that sort of thing. Okay, it's kind of, and that's cool, dude, because I mean, if somebody really wanted to get hardcore, and I may actually do this. All right, having internet issues here, so I don't know where I left off with that little rant that I was going off on, but the um, yeah, I'm still having internet issue. Damn. All right, there we go. So, I don't know. One of those studio audiences, most likely, unless you got tickets for someone else, which would be epic if somebody would go through and straight up look for his ass in a Penn and Teller fucking episode of Fooled Us. Which, who knows? Maybe I'll go and someday if I get off my ass, I'll try and do that. I got so many other projects people are throwing at me though with this, so I don't know. Let's see. Man, I can't even tell. Like, so let's see. Did you have any conversations with? I'm guessing Mary Lou. man, let me switch this over. Let's see here. All right, let's see if this is better. I don't know if it's gonna be. No, actually, it's not. All right, let's see. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's jacked up, man. My internet sucks here. So let's get this back on the page. I thought I could burn through this, but apparently it's a pain in the ass. You know what's weird is it takes so much more bandwidth to share the screen. It's like fine as long as I don't share the screen with anything. But as soon as I share the screen, it lags the fuck out. I'm consistent on that. Okay, so let's see. Jess, have you ever had any conversations with, I'm guessing, Mary Lou? I said not without him there. She was just kind of ancillary. I mean, he would always be the person I talked to, and like she would chime in once in a while or something. But it mainly was just like she was pretty quiet, if I remember right. So she didn't really talk much. She was just kind of like off to the side. It was just like his girlfriend. Like that was it. And it was like, so I mean, he was the main player. I don't think she even really gambles or has money. It's like sometimes you get players that play on other people's cards, like especially with spouses and stuff like that. Man, this sounds terrible. I don't know if you're hearing me, but on my system here, this sounds horrible. I wonder if shit. Oh, this sucks. All right. So let's see. No request from her ever. Let's see. I never had any interaction with her outside of when she would sit next to him gambling. Okay, and you mentioned then the last time he came in, the text messages. When he would come in, you would receive a lot of text messages from him. Not really. It was just in the process of whatever questions would be necessary to set up the trip or whatever he wanted or whatever. So I have it right here. All right, so mainly just dates when he was going to be here. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's see. So it just yeah, when he was looking, if he had anything due to coming to him. Let's see on his most recent stay, the August day. Uh-huh. Could you notice any type of visible behavior change or anything? Let's see. I didn't meet with him on the trip because he stayed at Caesars and my office is at the Rios. So that's, I guess I haven't seen him like I didn't see him since he last stayed at Rio, which was March 2016. So that's the last time I actually physically saw him, and probably actually last time I talked to him. I might have had a phone call in between sometime. I didn't set up all my trips with him via text. I think there's some phone calls in there sporadically, but he stayed at Caesars that trip, so I went ahead and booked him. You know, with my some of my players, I'll go and greet them at other properties, but I knew that I had a feeling he wasn't going to gamble much because he stiffed me on play basically the last two or three times he was in. I knew he was a gambler because I know his host at Mandalay Bay, or I knew he was still a gambler because I know his host at Mandalay Bay. And so I know he gambled big over there still. So you take a shot with these guys like that. If they ask for a room, you might get lucky and he'll play, thousands of dollars through a machine, and you know what's going to cost you. What's it going to cost you? It costs you a room. It's no big deal. But there wasn't a suite or anything like that, and I booked him over just at Caesars, and I didn't go and greet him or anything. I didn't see him that trip. Let's see. Okay. Again, besides Mary Lou, no other females? No. Never saw him with, no. Okay. Never mentioned any others. Not that I recall. No. Okay. So in your job, yeah, I'm sure you get crazy requests. Okay. So give me some examples of crazy requests you've had: Viagra, cocaine, and hookers. And I'm sure he's gotten all of those for people. Okay, let's see any of that from him. No. Okay, anything else? No. Anything? Just got a follow up question. It's redacted regarding the travel. Yeah. Was there any odd things that you remember about? Not really. No. And I'm trying to think if there was, like, I could have sworn we had a conversation about him going to the Philippines because I like traveling too. Like, I plan on going to Thailand in November here. And we all know what happens in Thailand. Let's see. So like, so we love traveling all over the place. Me and my wife do. So it's like I remember that's just kind of something I gravitate towards when I have conversation with my players. Yeah, sure, you're taking your wife. I believe that shit. Thailand? Yeah, no, you're not. Because it's you just look for any kind of mutual common ground that you talk to and build a rapport with someone. I want to say, like, he talked about, like going to the Philippines, stuff like that, and traveling. But and he did a lot of trips. I remember because he was a 7 star with us. So I did remember I reached out to his to New Orleans, and I booked him a room in New Orleans. This was a long time ago. Down there for one of his trips. That might be the extent of traveling that we talked about there. So yeah, let's see, because we have a casino down in New Orleans. Did you mention anything about religion? No. Political views? No. I was racking my brain on those two, thinking about that, and did not ever hear him talk about that. A couple follow-up questions. Sure, William Minter, DEA. The text message is going to be supplied as part of the subpoena. I'm sure we will have a preservation notice. We got a lot of subpoenas that came in yesterday, but we'll be preserving all the documentary evidence that we have and turning it over. Okay, if I could list the phone number he texted you from. Let's see, my phone number, the one he texted you from. Okay, it's redacted. Again, I'd like to see that fucking number. When you identified, guess Mary Lou as a girlfriend, or yeah, when you identify, did he ever state that that was his girlfriend? Did you ever think it was his wife or anything else? What made you think that was his girlfriend? Interesting how they're like questioning the relationship, but yeah, whatever. It could just be that regular process. I believe he just said it was his girlfriend. Yeah, yeah, because he must have said it, told me that. All right, there we go. Let's see, same last name, kind of like a flag. They were together. That's all I knew. So yeah, but I knew they weren't married. He must have told me they weren't married. Yeah. So, and then I want to revisit the whole weird thing or odd person. Was he more odd like his mannerisms? Was he more odd by things he said? What made you feel that? Like, was he standing too close to you when you were talking to him? Was he just not looking at you while he gambled, or what made you feel that way? I don't know if it was just a vibe he gave off or what. It was just. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Look you in the eye when he talked to you, anything like that. Uh, yeah, not really. I mean, a lot of times we're talking, he would just be focusing on. He wouldn't even stop the like playing a lot of times. when we were talking, which isn't uncommon. People want to gamble, and they can talk to you at the same time. But I wish I had more examples. I just remember him being a weird guy. Like, that's all I can say. It's more sense or vibe. Sense, yeah, exactly. Uh, when you negotiate with him, you talked about like talking about offers, yeah, and things like that. Was he pretty happy to just take what you offered? Was he a hard negotiator? Did he try to get more? He tried to get more, but this was like, which is fine. I mean, he was, when he was actually gambling strong with us, no problem to give him a little extra to come in. And, what I offered him, extra would be fine. And then, like, when we cut off his offers, even one other time I did offer him like $1,000 to come in and gamble. He took advantage of it and kind of stiffed me on play. And then after that, he knows better. Like, I mean, once you stiff someone on play, you're not getting anything else from that host ever again until you prove, let's see, that you could play. And then, so he didn't. He pushed the envelope a little bit, tried to negotiate, but he also, I had a feeling, knew. Most of these guys know where they stand with their play and what they warrant and what they don't warrant. So like once he felt it was fair that what I was giving him, he kind of backed off. When he gambled or when you met him, so I'd like you to think back when you initially met him towards maybe last time you met him. Did you notice any changes in his appearance? No, nothing. Like he looked older, sick, anything? No, nothing. Let's see. In that order. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm just reading here what you put. Let's see. Da, da, da. Didn't sound bad. It sounds like a good time, but not in that order. She didn't work at some of those casinos. She worked. If you're talking about Mary Lou worked at I believe was the Atlantis in Reno. I think it's called the Atlantis in Reno. I believe she worked. She also worked at an Atlantis in shit in Australia, I believe. It's kind of crazy, man, how this chick ended up from marrying some dude in Australia and ended up in America. It's fucking crazy. Went from Philippines to Australia to America. And dude she married in fucking Australia was kind of a ragged dude, man. And I mean, Paddock's kind of a. Oh shit! Am I going out again? Having issues, man. All right, there we go. Anyway, yeah, it's just always interesting to me. I'm wondering if homeboy went and picked her up in the Philippines. The Australian brought her ass over here. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Let's see. When he gambled, you met him. Did he carry any luggage, fanny pack, anything out of the ordinary? He would have noticed stood out. No, but a lot of people carry fanny packs. I mean, it's not that uncommon. Talked to someone yesterday that had one. Let's see, cane bag, rolling bag, anything like that. What is fucking cane bag? Let's see. No, I mean nothing out of the ordinary. Be odd. So yeah. No further questions. The ever mentioned guns, collecting guns, no. Shooting, like going to shooting range out here. No, never brought that up. One more, and I think we're done. We'll ask after. After. We'll ask after, and we'll ask you. Jeez, what the fuck are you saying, dude? You said that his host from Allen Bay, yeah, and you talked to that person, yeah. Close personal friend, yes. Okay, in the same fantasy league. And then and we're not talking about football. Let's see, and then we'll like hang out once, or we'll hang out once or twice a year, probably. I mean, he's married with kids, so okay. He doesn't get out a lot. Have you had conversations with him since the events on Saturday night? Like I called him when the news broke on Sunday night. Yeah. So yeah, and real quick, can you tell me what the conversation was? And If anything specific was talked about. Yeah, like just I can't believe it's him. Like, I mean, that's unbelievable. Like, just I was like, I asked him if anyone had talked to him yet, like like you guys or anything. And he said, no, not yet. It's interesting that they went for the Caesars host before they went to his fucking Mandalay Bay host, but whatever. They probably had to negotiate a little bit with Mandalay Bay to get them to fucking release anything. Is there anything that he mentioned about his stay? And I know this is kind of third person, right? I wonder if anything, but did he say anything that was weird about Steven or anything? No, during that stay, nothing at all. Okay, all right. Do you have anything? No, no. All right, no further questions. Anything? Did he ever communicate with you outside of that number, at 310 number? There's another number I have on file. That's why I was looking at it to see which number it was. It says the one I gave you, I got listed as mobile. I got a home number too of yeah, and yeah, I don't know what that would be. I mean, unless it's like a landline or something. All right, that's the end of that. Interesting, interesting. Okay, this interview being conducted. Okay, Texas. I remember we started this one. I don't remember what this was. Let's see. Today's day 10-2, man. So fucking. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the dude downstairs. Dude downstairs. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. For some weird ass reason, man, my phone, the LTE signal is having the other signal. But tonight they're both having problems. Let's see. So let's see. Today's date, 9 in the morning on 10-2. They're in unmarked patrol vehicle from Mandalay Bay, in the valet area of the Mandalay Bay. And that's, I'm guessing, because this guy could not get to his room. Let's see. I went to my room and I heard what I thought was fireworks going off. My room number, it's on 30th floor, room 128. I knew the concert was across the street, so I wanted to see the fireworks. And I went to the window to see if I could see them, and I saw everybody running. And at that time, my coworker was calling me, and I answered the phone. And he said, "There's an active shooter." And I said, "I believe it. I think he's next door." And I said, "He's either next door or he's below me or above me. He's nearby." You could hear the full auto. You could hear the full auto gunshots going off. And I told him, I said, "I got to let you go. I got to call 911." I got to tell him that he's here. Let's see, he's on this side of the street. He's not over there. Let's see, radio traffic. Don't care about it. Let's see, I couldn't get through. There was a busy signal. I tried to call the front desk, couldn't get through either. So I called the Luxor. I got a hold of them. And I told them that shooter was on my floor, and they said, no, he's at the Mandalay Bay. And I said, "I'm at the Mandalay Bay." And she's like, "Oh, let me transfer you to Mandalay Security." So she transferred me, and I told the lady, I said, "Shooter's on my floor. I think he's next door or he is nearby." And started yelling, "He's on 30th floor. He's on 30th floor." And she hung up. And I think, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes went by, and I turned off the lights in my room. Well, even before that, I called my dad. I told him what was going on. I told him I couldn't get a hold of anybody, and please try to get in touch with Las Vegas Police Department. And I got down. I was checking on my coworker. I hung out by my door. I just sat there and waited. I kept peeping through the peephole just in case the shooter took off. I could potentially identify him if he ran by my door. And maybe about 20 minutes later, I saw 4 police officers walk by. And then my friend called me back to check on me maybe like 20, 30 minutes later. There was 2 explosions, and I was scared. I thought it was a bomb had gone off. I started telling my buddy, I said, "A bomb just went off. There was a bomb." And then, so then my coworker called me and said, I think they threw flash grenades or some kind of grenades." So I wonder where his buddy's at, man. It sounds like his buddy's in the hotel as well. Um, and right about that point, I heard some shots go off, and then about 10 minutes later, my dad heard some, what? So you heard the O'Donnell shots, I guess. Let's see. About 10 minutes later, my dad called me and said that the TV was reporting that they got him. And then about 10 minutes later, someone from the police called me, called my cell phone, and this is the next morning, right? So this is before this guy really probably saw too much about this. No footage was out yet, you know. Then about 10 minutes later, someone from the police called my cell phone. They asked me if I believe that the shooter was potentially. They wanted to know what room I was in, and I told them that 30th floor, room 128, and they said they got the shooter on 32nd floor, room 135. And do I think that there was any other shooting coming from around near me? And I said I don't know. Its potential at 32nd floor was, that's pretty close to where I was. I mean, it's 2 floors up, 6 rooms down, and the gunshots were full auto, and I could hear him stop, switch weapons, and he sounded like he was firing a sniper shot. Just tone of weapon change. It was from a let's see, mimicking gun sounds to mimicking gun sounds. I don't know how many shots, and then he would switch back to the full auto. So this guy heard the tank shots. That's cool. It's interesting. Let's see. Do you want me to hold? Yeah, okay. It's radio traffic. Let's see. Take time. Uh, I try to tell somebody as fast as possible. See, like this thing. Again, I said this yesterday, but um, this guy called the Luxor and told Luxor there was a shooter there, and then he called downstairs, or they transferred him downstairs. He told downstairs that the shooter's on 30th floor, which I got in an argument with. Well, I've been arguing with somebody about that 30th floor bullshit. That the cops were thinking that somebody's on 30th floor, and apparently this is where that generated from. I didn't realize this was a thing, man, because I've never read this all the way through. Not this statement until last night. Okay, so you were registered here at the Mandalay Bay, correct? Yeah. Um, you're saying 30th floor room. Why did you redact that, dude? You already said it's like 128. Um, your window, which way does it face? Face the concert. Okay, so towards Las Vegas Boulevard. Yep. You're the only one in your room. Don't both sides face Las Vegas fucking Boulevard? Aren't they kind of the end room faces Las Vegas Boulevard? He was facing the airport, but whatever. I think if the picture in my head is saying he's facing the airport, but I could be fucking off. I don't know. Let's see. And then as far as the volleys, how you were explaining it, where he switched from one weapon to the other, do you remember how many times it went back and forth or switching, or no? Okay. I noticed there was a difference in the shots. Yeah, they were single shots, went off numerous, 3 or 5 times, and they switched back 3 to 5 times. All right. So I wonder if that's where the FBI is saying where they got the 6 tank shots or whatever all at the same time, and then we don't know where the last 3 rounds went or when they went out. Let's see. As far as your coworker, was he also staying here? He was staying on the floor right below me. There's the answer to that. So he was on 29th. He was on 29th floor room, whatever, and his name is whatever. He's in the other car. Is there anything else that you can remember that can help with the investigation or something that stood out or no? Okay. Did you hear the window break? Yep, you did. Yep. And then when you went to see the fireworks, you saw the people across the street running. He didn't ask about the window, like the timing on the window, anything like that. That's weird. That's odd. That's odd. Like, how'd this guy see the window break if he was looking for the fireworks, right? Uh, you would think if the window was broken first, then he would have. if the window was broken first, he wouldn't have thought they were fireworks. He would have kind of thought, "What the fuck is going on?" Or the fireworks hitting the fucking side of the building or something. Um, that's strange. That's really strange. That order of events is kind of screwball. Let's see. Let's see. People. I mean, he could have saw 134 break. I guess maybe that's what they're talking about. Um, maybe he saw that one broken. Let's see. I can just see people running. Okay, it's just interesting how they didn't ask any follow-up questions on that. I would think they would, but they didn't. Let's see. I hear gunshots going off, and then did you keep looking at what's going on, or did you? Because I know you tried to call the police, but let's see. I tried to look out the window to see if I could see muzzle flash, get an idea where he was at, and I didn't see anything. I looked down, looked left. The sound came like it. The sound came like it was left of me, but it sounded like it was coming from below me. And I was texting. I guess his dad probably. I was telling him. I said, I think he's next door. He's on your floor. Oh no, his friend, coworker. There was a point where there was a long silence, and it sounded like there was a pop. And I thought there was. It sounded like it came from next door. This dude heard the suicide shot. This dude actually heard the suicide shot. That's crazy. That throws some of my shit out of like out the window. But I'm still guessing. And Wade texted me and said he heard the pop too, and that's when I called 911. I actually was able to get through at that point. And I told dispatch what was going on at that point in time, and they said they were notifying the officers, and then he let me go. Okay, and it was just one pop. Yeah, it sounded like just one pop. Now this is interesting because, like I said, this is next morning. It's fucking next morning. So this is legit. Let's see. What did you think it was? I thought he offed himself. I thought he shot himself. Okay, then as far as when you looked out, could you see anything? I mean, at that point, you believed it was gunfire. Yeah. But did you see anything else that indicated it was gunfire? No, I couldn't see anything else. The rounds going off, just the rounds going off, and of course, I think after they got him, my dad called, to tell me there was another shooter at the Bellagio, and I looked out the window and I could see cop cars taking off, and I just stayed on the floor and I just kind of waited. All right, and that's it. So, suicide round, man. Suicide round was heard 2 floors down. Well, 3 floors down because his buddy was staying a floor down from him. It's kind of interesting. I always thought that there wouldn't be a noise to the suicide round because when people shoot themselves in the mouth, yeah, a lot of times those gases go right into your fucking brain cavity. Huh. Okay. Well, I don't want to deal with that text message right now. Sorry. Because I don't know if you're in here listening, but I'll check that out afterwards. Let's see. Was there something corroborated breaking window with hammer? I honestly can't remember. It's something I've always assumed. But was it just that the hammer was there and it made sense that it was? Um, you definitively that the hammer was actually used for that purpose, but I mean, think about it. Like, what else would he use, man? What else would have been uh, legit to break out those windows? Uh, I just don't see anything else being used for that. I don't see the guns being used for that. I don't see him, doing the Rambo and fucking using the butt of a fucking rifle to break out that thick ass glass. I just don't see that being it. And I mean, it's possible he broke out shards of it. Um, and I would say, I mean, originally I was saying that, exactly what you're saying. I would say it's possible that when this guy started this whole thing, that he shot the first single shots through the fucking window, like right through it. Um, so, I'm of the opinion, and it's all just speculation, that this guy did not want to break out that entire window because he did not want Um, because this guy was fairly intelligent. He probably watched a couple Rambo movies or some bullshit, and figured out that, you know, he's 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 sitting behind a giant fucking mirror, and there's no reason to break out the entire window, because once you break out that whole window, man, I mean, you're putting a lot of, you're going to be putting a lot of light out there. So, all he's got to do is break out a small section of window at a time. Especially because he's only shooting at a little. Um, well, he had a glass cutter, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you're going to use a glass cutter on those big ass fucking windows. Maybe he thought that was the thing, and maybe he tried it and it didn't fucking work. I don't know. But yeah, the glass cutter thing never made a lot of sense, because those aren't small fucking windows. I think you said you were a window guy, and those things are fucking thick. So, I don't know how, if a glass cutter would actually be functional for something like that. But, think of it like, this is the way I see things, man. This is the way I see what Paddock did, and his how he did this thing, because there was an argument for a while that I was having with Hunter about why the hammer was in 135 and not 134, because obviously 135 had to have been broken first and 134 had to have been broken second. Um, why was the hammer 135? Why did this guy even bother bringing the hammer back to 135? And so, and I've said this before, so you might have heard this rant before, but basically, the guy doesn't have to break out the whole window, man. He's got to break out maybe a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet. In the end, it looked like he broke out about 3.5 feet, with a big, crack in the center, which was kind of a triangle going up. And that piece of glass, to my memory, it broke later. That little triangle was the section that I think fell out about 1 o'clock in the morning when the cops were walking underneath it. And it just seems to me, because if I remember right, when you look at the where did I get that from? I think I got that from oh god, was it one of the pictures, or was it when I zoomed in on the window, uh, on the high def picture of the cops sitting behind the cop car, and the random people walking around. The one that Hoover used to try and say, "Oh, the window's not broken. You can see, you can't see the window broken from this picture." Well, yeah, fucker, because you're not zooming in on it. But once you zoom in, contrast, you kind of get an idea. There's a little square there, man. The window doesn't look. The window looks off. So, and it's but and so I think in that photo, or one of those photos, you could see that little triangle was still there, man. It looked like a square block broken out of that window. But later you have that triangle piece in the center that is not fucking there. It's missing. And I'm guessing that's what fell about 1 o'clock in the morning later, when those cops were walking underneath it. So back to the way I see fucking panning out. And this is of course speculation, because I have nothing to prove this, but you know, this guy, what I think would be, if he was very, very intelligent, and this is hindsight for me, so I'm not even this intelligent to figure this shit out. But in hindsight with this, he only needed to break out about a foot and a half, 2 feet, and that's all I would break out, because you're shooting out of a giant fucking mirror. And that way, if you did something like that, if you made like a smaller hole, that's less of the flash that's going to be seen from the ground, because anything, behind that mirror is not going to be seen, and it's going to make it harder to spot, who's actually shooting. So at that point, the only people that are really going to see it are the people that are downrange, like immediately downrange. But, somebody sitting over at the Luxor probably isn't going to see the flashes of the muzzle, because, the guy's going to stand a couple feet back from the window. Um, I think I just lost connection. Not sure. Yeah, it's getting all screwy. Let's see. Let's see if this clears up. Yeah, I can hear myself going robotic. Um. All right, there we go. I think I'm back. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so what I think might have happened, and again, can't prove it. I'm thinking he possibly just broke out him to start with, but you know, he could have. I mean, honestly, he could have sat there and shot a couple bullets right out of that fucking window, just to not to actually break the glass. Not even worried about the glass. Just shoot bullets out of that fucking window, and at that point, you know, back on. I'm back on, right? Am I still? Oh man. All right. Yeah. I think I'm back. No, not back. Yeah, it's going in and out. Let me try something here real quick. Let me see if this fixes things. I doubt it, but I'm gonna try. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's got me hooked up. That's why. Let me see if this works. Let's try this. Or if this is worse. I don't know. No, maybe that's not it. Yeah, sounds a little better. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm back. That should be better. Yeah, it's doing some weird shit with the Wi-Fi on my phone. Um, anyway, so check it out. Like those original shots, right? The original 8 shots or 9 shots, whatever the fuck they were. I think it was 8. I think according to the fire department, it was 8 that went out that window. Um, shoots a couple shots at the VIP, right? Shoots a couple shots at the, towards the back, the Coca-Cola booths, all that sort of shit. And oh, what? Oh, that's why there's a problem. Okay, that's why. Because my other connection went down, but I think you probably hear me. All right, so I ain't gonna put that thing back up. I'm just gonna leave my icon up here because, like I said, that's what lags it out. Uh, anyway, so here's the deal. Like, he shoots a couple shots down. Like I said, this guy's gun's about 5 foot up. He's standing there. He's gonna be. I'm guessing he stood for most of the shooting. I don't see this guy putting neon glass, so I don't see that as being a possibility. I don't see him laying down on glass, so I don't see that as a possibility either. Otherwise, motherfucker would have had a broom up there, but he didn't. The so what I see him doing possibly is shoots a couple shots out, shoots them towards the VIP. Right, it's got a couple breaks in the glass at that point, got a couple holes in the glass, knows exactly where he's got to shoot for the VIP. Uh, Throws a couple rounds towards the Coca-Cola booth. Okay, so now he's got a range on the glass itself. of exactly where he needs to shoot to hit both those areas of the venue. And then what he would do, I would think, is he would take the hammer and he'd break out the section between those two bullet holes that he just made in there, or two, um, yeah, I think standing was the thing, but I don't think it's that bad of an angle, but depending on how close he was to the window, so I mean, I think that's what you're looking at, but it's, I don't know, but the pictures in the report don't do it justice, so you know it's kind of hard to tell, but as far as that goes, because it's definitely a lot different being there, going up, like I said, I went up to the roof, man, and the foundation room, and it's crazy, the view there, how big the venue looks from right there, man, because it looks tiny in that fucking picture, but so let's see, so shoot a couple rounds, so now you have a range on the window as far as how much of that window needs to be broken out to hit within the concert venue. And then he could just sit there with the hammer and break out the little section between those two fucking bullet holes that he just made, maybe a little bit extra on top. Um, no, I don't think he ever had barrel out the window. That'd be stupid if he did. So, and I don't think it was possible because he didn't break out that much of the window to actually shove that barrel out the window, I don't think. So, the so he sits there, he hammers out, again, speculation. This is just my theory behind this whole thing. Um, it breaks out the glass just enough so he can hit where he needs to hit, right? He can hit the venue. He can hit both sides of the venue. He can hit that whole fucking venue. Doesn't need to be that much of glass. Like I said, probably a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet at the most. Breaks that shit out. Eventually, he's got to take that hammer, and he's got to take that hammer over into 134. Now, 134, he ain't going to shoot that glass, right? Because there ain't no fucking reason to do that, man. So instead, what he does is he breaks that whole son of a bitch out. Yeah, because at this point, he probably sees all the cop cars, all that sort of stuff coming his way. He knows he's fucking done. It's over. He's just going to do as much damage as possible. And plus, he's going to be sitting on the bed most likely. You know, I don't really see him standing, out of a full on broken window, 32 floors up, shooting out that window. I think he had, I forget, it's like 2, 3 feet or something between that bed and the window. And yeah, I don't see an old man just standing there out of a broken window shooting a gun that's bumping them all over the place. Well, guns, those weren't the bump stocks. So, um, so I see him sitting on the bed. He ain't laying on the bed. That's stupid. I've heard that shit before, and laying on the bed is dumb. That's a dumb idea because this guy's 6 foot. Those beds, I think California Kings are like 4.5 feet. Those are queens, double queens, or maybe the double queens are the 4.5 foot ones. But you got a gun, that's sticking out about what, a foot or something, if you're going to put the bipod on the bed, at this point, your ass is going to be, I guess, hunched over the bed. That's possible. Could have had his knees on the floor between the two beds and shooting out that window. That's possible. But I'm guessing this guy was probably just sitting on the side of the bed, lobbing rounds out. Um, yeah, foundation room's cool. Um, So I'm guessing, yeah, the guy was just lobbing rounds out. So he broke out that whole fucking window, right? And then when he goes back to 135, see, the problem is later in the shooting, people start running, and he's no longer shooting at the same parts of the venue, man. He's no longer shooting at the VIP area because everyone's fucking hauling ass. You got a couple dead people down there. You don't care about that no more. Um, he's really doesn't have a lot of targets left within the venue. So now he's going to have to break out a little more of that glass if he wants to hit that parking lot across the street where everyone's running into. The cops that are sitting there on what, Guile Street or whatever the fuck. Now he's got to break out a little bit more of that glass. And so you have, and I think I think it was Aces. I think it was Aces Wild did a video not too long ago. Well, it was months ago now, but I think he did a video a while back that he kind of did a little graphic of what he thought happened with the guns and which guns were used in which order. And I remember the one time I actually talked to him, we were talking about that, trying to figure that out. Which it was all him. It wasn't me. It was him figuring this shit out. Me, I was just asking him, "Have you figured it out?" And so all credit goes to him. But the he did a little graphic, and at some point you see Paddock, go into room 134 and then come back from 134 when the single shots went off, right? And it was a graphic, so it was easier to kind of follow than, just kind of using a stopwatch. And again, those rooms are very small, man. They're a lot smaller than they look in those photos, man. Those rooms are fucking tiny. And so he did his graphic, and when Paddock runs over to room 134, and then when he comes back to 135, there's a huge gap in time there. It took a while because on his graphic, it's pretty fluid. But at some point, he has to switch between rooms, and so on that graphic, there's a couple seconds there of a delay of a lag, and because of the way he did it and the engine he used to do it. So to me, it says like, honestly, I think this fucking dude. The only way I can explain that hammer being 135, not 134, is that the dude went and broke 135 out in sections. He didn't break it all out at once. At least what was broken out, he didn't break it all out at once. Yeah, he broke different sections of it out. That way he could, originally you weren't going to see a lot of muzzle flash. You weren't going to see really any muzzle flash because if the guy was that intelligent, he would have broken out just enough section just so he could shoot where you need to shoot, spray and pray. And then he go into 134, didn't give a fuck. He's got to sit on that bed, just broke the whole damn thing out. Was in a hurry at this point, so just didn't really give a shit about that window and broke that whole son of a bitch to pieces. And did his thing in there. And then came back into 135, broke a little bit more of that window out, and then continued shooting. And that's just how I see that happening. It's the only way I can make sense out of that because I remember that conversation. But anyway, I think that's about it. And got an hour and a half. I don't think I want to get involved in another one, but I am curious what the next one is and who it is. Because I think this is kind of a shit report or a shit PDF. I think, some of these, like we had the girl from the restaurant that I think is kind of fucked up. I don't think she's legit. And I mean, the casino host was cool, but he's not the casino host that he was using for that trip. And he hadn't seen him in a year and a half. So that's kind of fucked up. Let's see. Investigation events happened last Sunday. Let's see how explain to me how we got to this point. I was coded to as her executive casino host here at Caesar's Palace. Let's see. So you were contacted through the casino, through my boss. Yes, okay. So we say blah blah blah. Who was the acquaintance of Stephen Paddock? So how many years have you had acquaintance with? Okay, so what is she saying? I haven't had much acquaintance with her. It would have to be less than 2. So they didn't stay here very often. Most likely, no. Okay, not on my knowledge. What was the first contact you had with her? So this is a casino host for Mary Lou Danley. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing here? Let's see. He is the executive casino host at Caesar's Palace, and his shift is okay. So she had a different host than Paddock had. That's interesting. So that's a thing. So that I guess that'll be the next one. It'll be the other Caesar's Palace casino host, and yeah, and then later we're probably going to get into the casino host for the win. I'm guessing, and I just don't really care too much for these guys. That last one had something to say, but you know. Anyway, I think that's it for this. I think I'm done here for tonight. And talk to you on the next one, man. Thanks for coming by. Stay safe out there.